A silver shortage in 2025. You heard that correctly. Silver shortage, 2025. We have three reputable people, three reputable sources talking about a silver shortage. Guys, we need to remember, what year is it right now? 2024. 2025 is less than 6 months away, and we have mainstream analysts talking about the potential for a silver shortage as soon as next year. What do you think that will do to the silver price? I know what you think. Well, at least I think I know what you think, but I think I know that I'm happy you're here. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the channel. It's a big honor when you come here. You'll make a lot of friends. You'll learn. We'll have some fun. You're always welcome here. Thank you very much. And please give this video a thumbs up. But let's talk about what's going on in China first with silver, because we have two very interesting developments, in my humble basement opinion. And I think you'll agree with me going on when we look at silver in China. This is breaking news as of last night. Let's go out to Twitter. I'm still going to call it Twitter. I don't care. Our friend, the Oriental Ghost, not the Shanghai Ghost, the Oriental Ghost, and he gives us his daily silver report from China. This is data directly breaking from China. And there's some interesting things in here that I want to point out. First, silver, that's AG on the SGE, the Shanghai, and we emphasize the high because as we see over here, the price for silver, physical silver in China is always higher, like Shanghai, okay? $31.03. Let's run out. Hold on here. Let's run out to Pimbex and see, press the button here. Okay, silver is at we'll say $28 per ounce in the US right now. We look at China, physical silver, $31.03. Still, guys, it's maintaining. That's not the most, there's two interesting things I want to mention about this. But number 0.5, because it's not one of the two interesting things. Silver is maintaining this like $3 spread between the COMEX and the LBMA and what people are willing to pay for physical silver in China. $28, right, on the electronic paper unicorn fart dust COMEX and LBMA, $31 in China. But this is what I find interesting. Overnight in China, the silver price up 1.63%. Are they setting the price? When I started putting the notes together, I work hours putting these live streams together. You may find that hard to believe, but when I started putting the notes together about 2 hours ago, the spot price was about up the exact same percent, 1.63%. So we have to ask ourselves, is it really happening? Is the physical market in China beginning to dictate the price of silver? We won't go down the path, but we know, right? We know all the fundamental reasons why China is sucking in all the world's silver. They need it for solar panels. They need it for electronics. They need it for semiconductors. And as we look at this data, are you starting to see this? That it feels like China is starting to set the price. And don't forget, this right here, the Shanghai Gold Exchange, is a physical market. Not like the COMEX and the LBMA, which are levered up 200 to 1, 100 to 1. Some people say 400 to 1. I guess it depends on the day. We do know one thing for sure about the COMEX and the LBMA, right? They trade on a daily basis almost 1 billion ounces of paper silver, electronic silver, futures contract silver, right? I'll say it one last time, unicorn fart dust silver. About 1 billion ounces a day. That's about as much silver as the entire mining industry can produce in a year. Actually, it's a little bit more than that. So as we look at the physical price, is it beginning to set the stage? The other thing that is getting a lot of people's attention, okay, gold on the Shanghai, Shanghai Gold Exchange, $2,444 per ounce. But what's getting everyone's attention is this over here. The Shanghai Futures Exchange, silver vaults for the day, down 8 kilograms. Okay, the Shanghai Gold Exchange, silver vaults for the week, down 30 almost 37,000 kilograms. There's a lot of people following this fact that not only is the COMEX and the LBMA that are seeing their vaults being drained, and that's what we're going to talk about and a little bit later. We're going to get to this, guys. 3 big, what I think are reputable sources talking about as soon as next year, a silver shortage coming to reality, coming to a coin shop near you. Okay. So everywhere we're seeing a lowering in the vaults, the physical amount of silver in the vaults, and that's continuing at the Shanghai Futures Exchange. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being here. All 250 of you, right? We got a big week ahead of us. We are going to focus in on the silver shortage, but we've got big news this week. Do you know, right? Starting tomorrow, massive economic, something that will move the silver price, can move the gold price. The markets, everybody's going to be focused on inflation data coming out this week. We're going to get the CPI and the PPI reports. Let's just run out and take a quick look at the economic calendar. There it is. Okay, this is from FinViz. Today, there's really nothing. The Treasury budget. That should have, hold on a second. Today, we're going to get a report from the Treasury on their budget. That should have a big red exclamation point, should cover the whole screen, but nobody cares because we know that our Treasury is spending a huge amount more money per day, per month, per year than they're bringing in. But tomorrow, Tuesday, core PPI and the PPI number comes out. The biggie is on Wednesday. Core CPI and the CPI, those are the inflation data reports. Rest of the week is pretty much a big nothing burger. But on Wednesday in particular, we could see some massive moves in the silver and gold price. Okay. It's all a bunch of BS. It's all a bunch of smoke and mirrors. It's all a bunch of made up government numbers. But nonetheless, we could see major movements because if those inflation numbers come in higher than expected, which really they probably should. Although I don't know about you. Are you feeling like, let's talk about that here in a second. Are you feeling like inflation's maybe slowing down? But nonetheless, if the inflation number does come in above, that would be very, very bad for the silver price and gold price. We could have one of those dollar days in silver where silver goes down $1. We could have one of those $50 days in gold where gold goes down $50 per ounce. Again, that's if the inflation number comes in higher than expected, because then everybody on Wall Street would think, oh, the Fed can't cut rates. The Fed can't cut rates. They're going to have to remain hawkish for a little bit longer. Right now, the markets are pricing in like a half percentage point cut in September. We're even hearing some leading economists calling for a 0.75% cut in September. Who knows? I think at this point, it's safe to say it's going to be somewhere between 1/4 and 3/4 points. I think it's going to be more like 1/4 point. It doesn't matter anyway. It's all short-term noise. But Wednesday is a huge day. It's inflation day. Now, let's talk about the good news, basement dwellers. We like to focus on the positive, right? What do you think will happen if inflation comes in lower than expected? And what might lead us to believe that that could be the case? If inflation comes in, if those numbers come in lower than expected, okay, it could be OTTR, off to the races for the silver price and the gold price. All right, because at that point, everybody would say deflation, deflation. You start to hear the D word. The real D word should be depression, but they won't ever say that. They'll say deflation. Oh, the Fed hates deflation. That makes the whole system implode. And guys, we are seeing major contraction right now in the U.S. economy. Drive down the street. Are you noticing it? I'm noticing more and more restaurants in particular closing up. We go to Orange Beach, Alabama every year. We've done it every year since my daughters were like 2 years old. Now they're 12. Anyway, I'm on this like Facebook group for condos in Orange Beach, and all these people that own all these people bought all these rental properties in these tourist areas, and then they rent them out on Airbnb and these what's the other one called? VRBO and stuff like that. All these people are on the saying, oh my God, I need to sell my condo. Nobody's renting it. Nobody's renting it. We talked yesterday, Six Flags, roller coaster parks, Disney, decreased attendance. Things are slowing down. I have to be honest, right? Because I was the first to talk about. Even yesterday, I went to Aldi to do the grocery shopping, and then I asked Susie, is there anything you need me to get? That was a mistake. Nonetheless, as I'm walking around Aldi, right, I'm thinking, you know what? These prices seem to have stabilized. Now, granted, okay, a bag of potato chips that I'm telling you, 5 years ago, they would charge 89 cents or $1.09 for the bag is now $2 minimum. So the prices aren't coming down back to where they were, but they don't seem to be going up. And I think that's because we're going into a major, we know we're going to do this quick because we got to talk about silver shortage, guys. That's why we're here. Next year, we could have a silver shortage. Okay. But nonetheless, when it comes to the economy, we just know that everything is starting to contract. So we could see a lower inflation. And I'm telling you, that's off to the races. Actually, that's probably what they're going to do. Would look good for the election, right? It would give the Fed a clear path, right? A green light to start to print money again. And they are printing. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about, what is it? 430 now dollar silver. That'll be tomorrow. Today, right now, I know you love silver, and we're going to talk about gold at the end. Wow, thank you, Daniel. Wow, Funyuns are $7 a bag. I can get myself a bag of Funyuns. Thank you. Wow, Daniel just gave me a very generous super chat. Super chats are always super appreciated. I don't want to come on here and beg for money, but hey, they are super, super appreciated. Because 12-year-old twins are expensive. Nonetheless, silver next year, gone, okay? Is it happening right now? What would that do to the silver price? What if it all came together at once? What if the Fed has to start cutting rates? What if the economies don't really crash? Even if they just stay where they are, the demand for silver is through the roof. What if next year, and what proof do we have? What are the analysts saying? Why don't you join me for a quick little coffee break, and we're going to come back and talk about big silver shortage next year. Because can you feel it? You've probably been stacking silver, gold for a long time like I have. I'm starting to feel it. And let's start, okay, by going to our friend, and we've got two more interesting, very interesting points to cover when it comes to the silver shortage. But let's start with our friend, John Little at the Silver Academy. This is just one little excerpt from an article that he put out, but this to me was shocking. Silver is more scarce than gold, both underneath the surface and above the ground stockpiles. Consider the following points. And I just wanted to highlight this one point. Above ground stockpiles. Now, this is, I don't know. Hold on a second. I'm losing my voice. This is a point of contention within the precious metals community, but above ground stockpiles. While gold is often perceived as rarer, right? We know gold costs what, 80, 85 times more than silver per ounce. The above ground stockpiles of silver are actually smaller than those of gold. Did you hear that correctly? Yes. It's estimated that there are about 6.8 billion ounces of gold above the ground, whereas silver stockpiles are less than 3 billion ounces. So they're saying, right, the Silver Academy is saying that there's actually 6.8 billion ounces of gold above the ground in vaults. We know a lot of it's in central banks, right? Supposedly, we got a few ounces here in the United States of America at Fort Knox, although nobody's seen it for decades and decades. Oh, except for Stephen Mnuchin and his girlfriend, who sent out a tweet, and that's about as extensive of an audit that we've had of Fort Knox over those decades. I digress. 6.8 billion ounces of gold above the ground and only 3 billion ounces of silver. This is primarily because silver is consumed in various industrial applications, whereas gold is mostly stored as wealth. I want you to think about that for 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Having vocal issues this morning. I appreciate you sticking with me. So right there, that tells us, right? There is more gold above ground than there is silver. Think about that. But gold, I don't have any gold down here, but I have this. There's more gold above ground than silver. But gold, 1 ounce of gold will cost you 85 times whatever the ratio is today, somewhere above 80. Somebody said 88 the other day. I haven't looked at it lately, the gold to silver ratio, but it doesn't make sense. Let's go out and check. What do you say, guys? Let's go on a virtual field trip here. And you know what? Let's do this. You guys, you can still see me. Let's go out and check quickly. Okay. Gold to silver ratio. We'll go to gold price. See what they say we're at right now. Woohoo! Look at gold. Okay, here's our current. Today's the 12th of August. Yeah, the 88. No thanks. Not right now, but I do love your website, goldprice.org. Guys, we're at 88 right there. Do you see that? The 12th of August. That's the gold. It takes almost we're back to almost, I didn't realize that. We're back to almost 90 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold, right? 90 of these. You need to trade. Would you trade 90 of these to get 1 ounce of gold? I love gold. Don't get me wrong. I've got gold mining stocks up to my ears, but that doesn't make sense, right? And then on top of that, there's almost twice as much gold above ground as there is silver. Are you kidding me? Okay, so what data do we have? And this is where it starts to get interesting, that we are actually heading towards this silver shortage in 2025. You know what? Let's go out. It's time for us to check on the gold and silver price. Let's do an update. And we're going to go out to Pimbex. We're going to press the Pimbex button, see if gold's gone up or down. We did have gold up $21, and now we have gold up $15. We'll take it. Silver up 16 cents. If you notice, that's what they do, right? Like China pushes the price up, the pure physical price, and then when it starts to trade on the electronic exchanges in the United States and London, the LBMA and the COMEX, they smash it down. But while we're here, I want to say thank you to channel sponsor Pimbex. This live stream, this channel is not possible without the support of Pimbex and our other sponsors. But Pimbex is where I get my silver. And if I were to buy gold, it's where I'd get my gold. Okay. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a silver stacker and I buy gold mining stocks. But nonetheless, I was a customer of Pimbex before they sponsored the basement. Just please, next time you're shopping around online for silver, gold, or platinum group metals, consider what Pimbex can do. Look at their selection, okay? Read about the company, and then compare the prices. Compare how many ounces of the same exact product you can get from Pimbex that you can get from some of the other big online bullion dealers, and I think you'll be impressed. Don't forget, we also have a big silver giveaway on August 31st. You could win this, right? 10-ounce Coca-Cola silver bar. And we also have a 5-ounce and a 1 ounce. All 16 ounces are going to be given away to one lucky winner. There's a link in the description of this video where you can learn how to enter the giveaway. Next point on a silver shortage. I get it, guys. I understand, right? We've been hearing this for years and years, but is it happening right now? Is it going to happen 2025, less than 6 months from now? Right? Nobody knows. Don't make any financial decisions based on anything I'm saying. But let's just quickly go back here. Okay. Peter Croth, a silver market analyst and author of The Great Silver Bull, predicted an upcoming silver shortage produced by increased demand for silver for different applications. Croth states that demand for silver has outpaced supply, and there are probably 12 to 24 months of silver available before inventories run out. All right. In a recent interview, he explained demand has been rising with almost the same supply for a while, with silver maintaining the same price range. Further investigation led him to conclude that big silver consumers were tapping secondary above ground inventories, the slush fund, corresponding to the largest silver futures markets, the COMEX and the LBMA, and Shanghai. And we showed that earlier today when we got our information from the Oriental Ghost, the amount of silver in Shanghai, physical silver in a physical market is going down, and ETFs. The amount of ounces in the ETFs for the last year has been going down, down, down. Now we're getting data, more particularly when it comes to gold, but we're watching silver closely, that they're starting to begin net inflows into those ETFs. These silver consumers could be in big trouble because the major exchanges could run out of physical silver, while at the same time, demand from the ETFs could start to spike, and it could become a self-feeding frenzy, guys. Absolutely, no doubt about it. So Kraft predicts that if this situation continues, above ground inventories of these sources will collapse. All right, the supply of silver will collapse in 12 to 24 months, setting the stage for silver prices to explode as shortages affect supply of the precious metal. In addition, he explained that the forecast of new mines going into production might even be negative in the future, and that might accentuate the shortage situation. It will accentuate the shortage situation. There are, in a nutshell, and we're going to go on to the next source, which is even more interesting, speaking directly to this silver shortage that we could be facing in the next year, maybe 2 years. But nonetheless, we know in a nutshell, guys, that the amount of silver coming from the mines is going down. And the pipeline, more importantly, I want you to think about this. What does it mean that the production of the mines is going down, but even more importantly, the pipeline of new projects is running dry, right? Because there's no money in silver. Right? You can't make a profit mining silver. Even at these prices, it's very difficult to make any kind of significant profit. I mean, look at the big silver mining companies. They all put their numbers out recently, right? Sure, some of them are making cash flow, some are but not making huge profits, even at $28, $32, as high as $32 lately in silver. So think about the supply, all right, going down. Right? The supply of silver going down. Oh yeah. And then at the same time, demand is skyrocketing. I mean, the supply of silver is going down, but not like falling off a cliff. But when you look at the demand for silver, it's like going off the opposite of a cliff. It's like a skyrocket going up, up, up. Who knows? Who knows? But let's go to our third source. And this one I found the newest and most interesting. Maybe somebody you've never heard of, but I want to tell you why we should pay attention. Okay, we talked about this article from the J Post, which says here, okay, we're just going to do a couple big highlights, and then we're going to dig into this new analyst and what he's saying. Industrial demand might consume the entire silver market by 2025. Okay, look at your calendar and see what year it is right now. Experts warn that surging industrial and military demand for silver could deplete inventories by 2025, driving price volatility and supply chain strains. In a stark projection, industry experts warn that silver inventories are on the brink of depletion by 2025, driven by surging industrial demand. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is not the interesting guy, but we're going to talk about him in 1 second. The yellow, Michael D. Rienzo, who people have varying opinions on. I'll leave it at that. Executive director of the Silver Institute. We're just going to throw him in here as the fourth person. Says industrial demand for silver has been on a relentless rise. Remember what we talked about, guys? The supply of silver, it's not falling off a cliff, but it's definitely going down a nice, steady downward hill, right? And there's nothing new, not significant coming into the pipeline. But the demand has been on like a rocket, right? A rocket ship. You know all the reasons: solar panels, semiconductors, electric cars, blah 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 blah. Okay, the industry must address the impending supply crunch through innovative solutions and sustainable practices. So that's the bonus fourth guy. The guy we really want to talk about here, who we really find interesting, is someone you probably never heard of, Johannes Bernreuter. Hold on one second. Have a sip of coffee with me. I'm back. Make sure the microphone's on. Nothing as bad as doing a live stream and not having your microphone turned on. Okay, Bernreuter. Johannes Bernreuter, head of Bernreuter Research. Listen to what he says, and then we're going to dig in and see who is this guy saying this. The rapid pace of technological advancements and the global push for renewable energy are driving unprecedented demand for silver. If current trends continue, we could face significant inventory shortfalls by 2025. What do you think a significant, what does he mean by a significant inventory shortfall? Significant inventory shortfall. I think that is the same thing as a silver shortage. Could it be a silver squeeze? On the horizon. Think about this. You got the head of the Silver Institute. You got the guy that wrote the Bible of silver, Peter Caruth, right? He is super high respected. Okay. We know what did the guys at the Silver Academy say? Is, there's less silver above ground than gold. And now we got this guy Bernreuter, whatever his name is, Bergenbooter, telling us that, hey, guys, we're headed to the cliff. We are there. Silver squeeze. I'll say it. I'll say it out loud, what everybody's thinking. Silver squeeze, $44 silver right here. For those of you who were complaining that you couldn't see it last time, on the Christmas tree back there by Barbie, that's Coin Shop Chris's Barbie, we have a silver $44 per ounce. That's what's going to happen. That's my prediction by Christmas. $44 per ounce silver. Because you know why? And then we're going to talk about Bernreuter. Okay. But you know why? Because silver and gold, hold on here. Wrong way. There we go. Silver and gold are the smartest. I mean, the smartest markets in the world. There's more people. I think the silver market has more people that participate in it than any other market in the world, but they've been around longer than any other market. And what do you think comes with age? What do you always hear? With age comes, finish the sentence for me, wisdom. What's the oldest market in the world? I used to say gold, but that's really not true. It's silver. Then some guy sent me an email yelling at me saying it's the fish market. Well, maybe the fish market's bigger, older, not bigger, older. But silver is one of the oldest markets in the world. It's going to sniff this out. It knows what's going on. Who's Bernreuter? Who's this guy? Let's go find out. Who is this guy? This guy saying that we could have a significant inventory shortfall. Well, let's go check him out quickly. Oh, there he is. Bernreuter Research, polysilicon market reports. What does that mean about us? I went over here, profile. This is interesting, guys. Okay. His company, founded in 2008, so he's been doing this for 16 years. Bernreuter Research is a leading provider of in-depth polysilicon industry reports. Excuse me. We specialize in the polysilicon industry and its markets, the solar and semiconductor industries. Hello, aren't those two like the biggest consumers of silver? Through diligent market research, we thoroughly analyze polysilicon manufacturers and the process. Moreover, we develop detailed scenarios of future supply and demand and forecast price. Okay. We have the reputation of providing the most comprehensive and accurate polysilicon reports on the market. And he's focused and obviously on silver as well, because that's a major component of anything solar or semiconductor oriented. The other interesting thing I found out about this guy is Where is it? There, that's how you can call him if you want. He's in Germany. Wolfsburg, right? He's a German. And Germans are known for being super fastidious and very, very detailed in their analysis. Oh, wrong page. There we go. So, guys, that's why we're going to have, I'll say the thing nobody wants to say out loud, a silver squeeze, okay? It could be happening, and it could be happening soon. Now, let's talk about gold quickly, because we've got some crazy new information coming to us about gold as well. As long as I can get this webpage, we're having some technical difficulties this morning to come up. Hopefully my assistant, which is that voice in my head, can get this to work. Let's talk about what's going on with gold. Okay, investing.com. Chinese gold ETFs. This is incredible. What does this tell us? I'm going to read this to you, and I want you to think about what this tells us. Chinese gold ETF holdings up 92% since 2023. That's 1 year. We're talking about 2025 for the silver shortage, the potential silver squeeze. Okay, that's coming to us from data from the guy that wrote the Bible on silver, Peter Carruth. That's being pointed in that direction from Bernreuter, like the German guru on solar panel manufacturing and semiconductors. We know what the Silver Academy is saying, and we know what the Silver Institute is saying. But what about gold? Right? Gold's the granddaddy, right? Gold and silver are like big brother and little brother. What is it telling us? What conclusion did you come from? 92% Chinese gold. Let's see what they're saying here, because we've got commentary from a big worldwide bank, okay? Chinese gold exchange ETFs have experienced a surge, with holdings increasing by 92% since 2023, according to Wells Fargo. The bank said the surge in gold ETF investment reflects robust demand from Chinese investors seeking safety amid economic uncertainties. The Chinese are buying gold like crazy. Everybody says, oh, the Chinese central bank. Oh my gosh, remember, right? We're supposed to be so scared and so upset because the Chinese central bank stopped buying gold, which a lot of people say isn't even true anyway. But guys, guess what? It doesn't matter, because you know why? The Chinese citizens are sucking in the world's gold. I heard Andrew Maguire, if I remember correctly, talk about over the weekend, right? That the Chinese, or somebody said this, that the Chinese produced like a certain amount of gold during the last quarter, but overall the country imported like twice as much. Okay, they are sucking in that vacuum cleaner sound you hear in the background. That might be Susie vacuuming the upstairs of the house, but it might just be the Chinese trying to suck in all the gold and all the silver, for that matter, that I have here. Wells Fargo highlights that Asian ETF holdings have grown 56% since January of 2023, with 92% growth in China specifically. So all throughout Asia, the gold ETFs are up 56%, 93%. The surge in gold holdings has coincided with a 23% increase. The substantial increase in Chinese gold ETF holding is said to underscore a broader shift to safe haven assets as investors navigate economic challenges. Now, I think what we need to think about is what would happen in the United States if we had what happened. We don't get the real story on what goes on in China. Apparently, they've had like a residential real estate bust over there. They've had difficult times in their stock market. And Chinese people don't generally trust the banks or paper currency. What's going to happen in the United States? Now, let's consider this. If that same or some version, some flavor of that same scenario were to unfold here. Well, let's just look back 7 days ago today, when just a little tiny taste of that started to unfold on here. Oh my gosh, the stock market was down 3%, right? Mike, one of the CEOs at Pimbex, told me that Pimbex, the online bullion dealer sponsor of Ron's Basement, that it was a wild day and that it carried through to Tuesday and Wednesday. That was with just a little speck of financial turmoil, of the markets going down. The same thing, and that's what happened in China. I'm telling you guys, the same thing could happen here. Again, I'm just giving you my opinion. Please, right? There's other opinions, and there's the most important opinion to you, and that's your opinion. Listen to me, listen to other people, form your own opinions on this. Wells Fargo said that as a result, gold has become increasingly attractive compared to underperforming Chinese stocks and bonds. Year to date, gold has outperformed both the Shanghai, which should be the Shang Low Composite Index, that's their stock market, and the Bloomberg China Aggregate Bond Index. So their stock and bond indexes have been beaten to a pulp in terms of performance by gold, reinforcing its appeal. Wells Fargo attributes the rise in gold ETF holdings to this economic strain and anticipates, again, think about what's going to happen here if we have economic strain, and anticipates that Chinese investors will continue to drive demand for gold. The bank's note suggests that the ongoing economic struggles and lackluster returns in other financial markets are propelling investors towards gold, and this is happening all over the world, and I believe will happen in the United States as well, as gold as a protective and profitable asset. Looking ahead, Wells Fargo remains optimistic about gold prices, projecting a continued rise through 2025 with a year-end target of $2,400 to $2,500 per ounce. Okay, so let's just kind of pull this all together. We're talking about a silver squeeze. 2025, 2026. I'm predicting $44 silver by Christmas. I'll eat my words if I'm wrong, okay? But we know that that the amount of silver in the world is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, guys. Nobody can argue that, no matter what numbers they want to argue, that the amount of above ground, think about this, the amount of above ground silver is shrinking. No one can argue otherwise. Okay, we know that there's more silver being consumed every year than is being produced. Now, there's a lot of different numbers, and you've got Bernreuter in Germany looking at it from his perspective, talking about 2025 strain in the silver supply market. We've got Peter Caruth talking about 12 to 24 months, right? But that's where the art comes in. When will it? How much above ground silver is there actually? When will it actually run out? Nobody knows for sure, right? But I think that it's going to happen, right? And it's going to put massive strain. Like, it's not like suddenly all the silver is going to disappear, but it's going to put massive strain on the market, especially as we have this increased demand for silver. And at the same time with gold, right, we know that ETF holdings everywhere are going up, but also in China, the move up is crazy high, right? 93%. I think the future looks bright for the precious metals. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me today. Please give this a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We're really trying to get through to the 40,000 mark here. I haven't been asking people for about a year to subscribe to the channel, but we want to refocus and get some subscribers. When you subscribe, you can leave comments in the comment section, and that's where we can learn from each other. Thank you. Okay, please support channel sponsors. First Mining Gold, you can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. Fortuna Mining, you can learn more about them at fortunamining.com. And of course, our friends, there's the P, there's the I, there's the M, there's the B, there's the E, there's the X, Pimbex.com. If you're going to buy some silver, gold, or platinum, see what they can do for you. And if you ever decide to convert an IRA or a 401k into precious metals, please, I beg of you, if you see some retired sports star on a TV commercial telling you that you should do it with XYZ company, fine, talk to XYZ company, but please talk to some other companies as well and make one of those companies Pimbex, okay, and compare how many actual ounces of silver, ounces of gold you could get doing it with Pimbex versus some of these other companies. Okay, you want to make sure you get the most metal for your money. Have a great day. Okay. On behalf of Susie and myself, we appreciate you. Okay. Basement dwellers out. Thank you to Annie. Thank you for moderating. I appreciate it. And Jake from Jake's Custom Parts, thank you as well. Okay. The moderators make this possible. You make it possible. Thanks for being here. We'll see you soon.